7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps. But what will you do with it? Let's see.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 most iconic bosses in gaming of all time. For this list, we'll be going over the most memorable bosses in games who made the biggest mark. Because bosses that recur heavily in long-running franchises have longer to make an impact, expect to see more of them here. Although single appearance bosses can still be impactful. If there's a famous video game boss you can't believe we forgot, show us who's really boss in the comments. Number 10. Cyberdemon, Doom franchise. The ultimate fusion of demonic hatred and future science, and usually resembling a cyborg minotaur, the Cyberdemon is one of the Doom series' most powerful bosses. Armed with powerful weapons and sporting a ton of health, Cyberdemons can be a formidable challenge for any prospective Doomslayer. There's no reason not to use your most powerful weapons against them, because if you don't, you will die. With its core design and overwhelming strength, Cyberdemons are one of the most recognizable Doom enemies. Few boss characters came close to being a game franchise's mascot, but the Cyberdemon is one of them. Number 9. Ridley, Metroid franchise. Although not usually the final boss of most Metroid games, Ridley has always been the most persistent nemesis for protagonist Samus Aran. Resembling an occasionally mechanical dragon of various sizes, Ridley works for Samus's primary foes, the space pirates. Ridley's boss battles usually prove to be among the most challenging in each game he appears in, with his high mobility and wide variety of attacks proving more than a match for the player's own. Given his propensity for cheating death, we doubt we'll be getting rid of Ridley anytime soon. Not that we'd want to. He's awesome. Number 8. Mecha Hitler, Wolfenstein 3D. One of the most memorable bosses of real life was Nazi leader Adolf Hitler. However, while real-life soldiers were robbed of a boss fight, this pioneering FPS gave players the ability to do what history never could: blast him to bits. In Wolfenstein 3D though, the Führer is equipped with a mechanical body or suit, as well as 4 chain guns, so taking him down isn't easy. But if you can survive the hail of bullets, taking down the Robo-Nazi is one of the most satisfying boss kills out there. Mecha Hitler's bizarre concept and place in what is essentially the first-person shooter has helped cement it as one of the most iconic bosses.
Eva, auf Wiedersehen.
Number 7. Nemesis, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. They named the game after it. Of course it's iconic. But Nemesis is more than just a name. A super-powered zombie with a terrifying grin and a major grudge against stars. Nemesis relentlessly pursues the player throughout the game. Not only can it tank hits much better than you, it can also wield a rocket launcher. While you have the option to fight it, the smartest course of action in most cases is to run away. A lot of bosses only have one chance to make an impression, but the fact that Nemesis continues hounding you means that we'll never forget it, or its constant refrain of stars. Number 6. Dracula, Castlevania franchise. Man may be a miserable little pile of secrets, but there's no secret here. Dracula is the Castlevania boss. Based on the famed fictional vampire, Dracula rules over the titular castle and always seems to find a way to return from death to haunt both the Belmont family and players. Featuring forms both debonair and monstrous alike, as well as abilities ranging from casting fire to shapeshifting, Dracula is every bit as emblematic to the Castlevania games as the Belmonts. Maybe even more so. After all, without Dracula, there is no castle, and Vania just doesn't have the same ring to it. Number 5. Dr. Wily, Mega Man franchise. He may look like and share a name with Albert Einstein, but there's nothing relative about Dr. Wily and the real-life scientist. Dr. Wily is a genius roboticist, but rather than use his robots to help people, he's out to use his creations to take over the world. Fortunately, he's always foiled by Mega Man. Still, Wily doesn't make it easy for the Blue Bomber. Along with 8 robot masters, usually, Wily forces you to attack his various skull-themed fortresses before you can face off against the Mad Doctor himself. And chances are good he'll be using a flying saucer. And no matter how many times Wily begs for forgiveness, he never learns his lesson, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Number 4. Dr. Eggman, Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Speaking of mad scientists obsessed with robots, Dr. Robotnik and/or Eggman is the arch-enemy of Sonic the Hedgehog. The egg-shaped, walrus-mustached megalomaniac wants to rule the world. His methods usually rely on turning animals into robots, or else utilising whatever the particular game's MacGuffin is to achieve his ends. Utilising his armies of bots and several mechs shaped like himself, Eggman has remained Sonic's most tenacious adversary, even if he's forced to team up with Sonic on occasion. Regardless of his name or which side he's on, this Doctor is every bit as famous as the speedy blue mammal he hates so much.
You are so easily tricked. All I did was wait for you to bring it to me.
Number 3. Sephiroth, Final Fantasy VII. If this were a list of the coolest bosses, Sephiroth would be in contention for the top spot. The archenemy of Cloud's Strife and arguably the most iconic RPG boss ever, Sephiroth has everything going for him. He's got that badass look, a huge sword, a haunting backstory, and a phenomenal boss theme. He has even made appearances as a boss and otherwise in games outside his usual franchise. Still, for as legendary and beloved as Sephiroth is, his appearances are still relatively few, at least compared to some other bosses.
Not yet.
Number 2. Ganon, the Legend of Zelda franchise. Also called Ganondorf, depending on the game and/or timeline, Ganon is the ultimate evil of the Legend of Zelda games. Once a human man, Ganon became corrupted by magic and the Triforce of Power, turning him into a monstrous boar-like form. Fated to clash with Link, Zelda, and their descendants/reincarnations, Ganon is the third part in the holy trinity of these games. Ganon has had many forms over the years, and each brings something unique to the table, yet all of them retain his essence as a power-hungry and intimidating villain that stands as one of gaming's best. Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. GLaDOS, Portal franchise. Portal wouldn't be Portal without this hilarious and sinister AI.
Was it worth it? Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart.
Dingodile, Crash Bandicoot franchise. Goofy, crude, and fond of fire, Dingodile is a ton of fun.
Break out the butter. Gonna make toast.
King K. Rool, Donkey Kong franchise. A royal reptile that has proven to be DK's greatest foe. Psycho Mantis, Metal Gear Solid. This psychic foe freaked us out so much, we're still not over it.
I'm Psycho Mantis! That's right. This is no trick. It's true power.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Bowser, Super Mario franchise. You were expecting Donkey Kong? While the big ape may have been Mario's first antagonist, DK has largely reformed, while Bowser remains Mario's nemesis. Bowser has been kidnapping Princess Peach for decades, and the big fire-breathing turtle never seems to get discouraged by his constant defeats by Mario. Each of his boss fights have remained ingrained in our collective consciousness thanks to Mario's wide appeal. Add in his memorable design and almost endearing personality, and it's not hard to see why Bowser has become not just the king of Koopas, but the boss of all video game bosses.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.